Hello and happy Monday, July 20th. Welcome to another exciting edition of Rate Desk. I'm your host, Michael Thomas, here to talk about multifamily interest rates and other news. Going to the markets today, all three major indices are up. There were positive vaccine news reported. In specific, AstraZeneca is going to phase 3 of a COVID vaccine trial that's looking positive. Markets reacted to that. Also, the technology stocks are back. The stay-at-home play is back this week, so we are seeing positive trends there. Allowed the indices to close, as well as the Dow erased the losses that they had. So that's nice to see. Not a big difference on the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield, just down a bip from where we were last week at 62 basis points. And we continue to see the crude oil futures trading in the $40 barrel range, which is also nice to see that sticking around in that range. Good news on the multifamily interest rates, jumping over to 223F FHA rate. That is quoting at 239 today. That is 2.39, fixed for 35 years. Just a note, that rate's been below 250 since April, if you can believe that. We are clearly seeing these low interest rates stick around, so great time to look at that. Jumping on over to the 221D4, that is an incredibly low 3.04. That is fixed for 40 years. If you think about that, last week, the single family rates hit an all-time low in the 298 range, under 3%. Those are single family mortgages fixed for 30 years under a certain threshold of, say, 500,000 or so, depending on where you're at in the country. There's different rules for different states. Think about a 221D4, 40 years, 304. That could be a $50 million construction loan. Are you kidding me? That is an incredibly low rate. Just think about the leverage you have with such a low fixed rate for such a long time. Jumping on over to the Fannie Mae desk, we are seeing a little bit of a tightening there at the low end of the range, 275 for the Fannie Mae DUS. And we're seeing the Freddie Mac rates also really come out swinging to compete with Fannie Mae. They're now at the 3% range. That's also on 10-year fixed rate money. What I want to speak with you about today, a couple things. We all know the CARES Act is up. Congress is back for another revote for what this new stimulus package is going to look like. Treasury Secretary came on and was talking about a $1 trillion package focused on jobs, kids, and vaccines. Have yet to see more specifics on that. Analysts are reporting that this is going to be a more targeted bill than the first CARES Act was, which was much more broad-based. So we'll see there. And on that note, the National Low-Income Housing Coalition is reminding everyone tomorrow is virtual lobby day. So they are lobbying to get $100 billion with a B in emergency rental assistance. They see forbearance expiring, and renters that are cost burdened, paying 30% or more of their income in rent and utilities, are really at high risk for evictions. They've got some excellent data analytics there, really putting a lot of emphasis on getting that rental assistance to keep renters in their homes during these times. Jumping on over to the MBA, saw a statistic on the positive side for single family loan forbearances. Those have gone down for the 5th straight week. So seeing some positive news there. When I was reading about the emergency rental assistance funding, it reminded me of my work, because I've done work at the city level for the city of Aurora, voting on this type of funding as well as home and CDBG funds. And one thing that comes up pretty consistently is this rental emergency assistance funding. It always runs out. Whatever the number is, it tends to get used up. It made me think, what could be more of a permanent solution in addition to that? And one thought that occurred to me would be back to work training or back to work job services. There's a real shifting landscape here economically between a lot of the retail professions that may not come back as robustly as they were before, although you never know. But in case they don't, there certainly are opportunities in technology. We're seeing those stocks and the technology sector just in general really take off. I'm not saying it's an easy transition, but there are groups and agencies and training that is based to help people get those certifications necessary to have some technology work, technology jobs available to them. Just a quick note, I went in to get a couple laptops serviced, just very basic diagnostics, and it was a week and a half just to do that. through just my local computer store. So clearly there's opportunities to get some training and shifting in this landscape that I think would further help people stay in that housing when whatever funding sources that the government is doing from a stimulus perspective, they're not ad infinitum. So we want to figure out maybe some more permanent solutions there. That's just my thought of the day, perhaps maybe of the week. We'll see. If I have any other thoughts, I probably will. And on that note, I want to mention, please don't forget to tune in this Friday. We are launching the National Association Home Builder, NAHB, Power Hitter Series. Very excited about that. Our first guest, Jim Tobin. Jim Tobin's the Executive Vice President and Chief Lobbyist for the NAHB. We're going to ask him some great questions. I'm sure he's going to have some great answers. So make sure you tune in this Friday, the 24th, for that new series launch. Again, thank you for tuning in to another exciting edition of Rate Desk. I'm your host, Michael Thomas, signing off.